Hi you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jess Christyne, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about something a little bit more serious. I know that my channel, there's been a few videos that I've done that's been like a serious topic, but today I want to talk about something that I've gone through that I feel like a lot of people can relate. I'm sure that a lot of us have gone through, you know, a little bit of anxiety and depression, and if you haven't, you went through your own struggles, whether it was external or internal. And I just wanted to share a little insight on mental health and self-care and what are the things that you can do to kind of like get through a tough time or a tough day, a stressful situation that's like taking a toll on your energy and your vibe, your spirit, you know, all that stuff. And yeah, let's get started. Almost a year ago, I started experiencing bouts of like anxiety and panic attacks. You know, I remember one time when I was 15 years old, I experienced an anxiety attack, and it felt like I had lost my mind, like I lost touch with my reality. But it wasn't severe. It lasted like 2 minutes. That was about it, and then it never came back until now that I'm 28. It kind of came back, but this time it attacked me in a very weird way. Like I just started having like really, like my mind just started racing with thoughts, and I was like worried about my mom a lot and stuff. And it was a shocking thing because it caught me early in the morning, like at 8 in the morning. I had just finished getting ready to go to work. And right when I was about to leave, I just caught this intense feeling and sensation of fear, and like something was coming for me, and like I just didn't know how to control myself. And it was just like I was hyperventilating, my palms were sweating, I felt like pins and needles were all over my body. It was just like really, really intense stuff. And it was like the scariest experience I ever gone through, and it has changed me forever because it kind of like has opened up so much in me to like dig deep, you know, and do a lot of self-work and self-care. Before catching that anxiety attack, I wasn't the kind of person to think positive about anything. Like I was always thinking negative of any situation. I always thought that I was going to end up in the worst place. I always thought that I was going to be homeless. I don't know why, but I always like was worried about that. I wasn't happy because I graduated with my bachelor's in broadcast journalism with a minor in theater and didn't know what I wanted to do with it. Didn't want to pursue journalism. It was just a really tough year before that anxiety attack, and I kind of felt lost. But it manifested in other ways. Like instead of me feeling lost, I felt miserable a lot of the times. I felt kind of like uninterested of a lot of things, like dating men, or I love Beyonce, so I love being on YouTube all day watching her live. And I thought, and I lost interest in that, and I lost interest in a lot of things. Like it was showing in my character and my energy and my mood. I was thinking very low of myself, you know, like I'm pathetic, I don't understand why, I'm not deserving of anything good. I just spent all these years in college working my butt off to like not want anything. I felt just a little out of place, and I felt a little lost in the world, you know. All my entire 20s, like I've been in college, and that's all I've known is school, you know. And now that I'm living my life, it just seems kind of, I'm new to it, you know. I don't know how to work and just work, you know. I was always used to going to school, coming home, doing homework, doing a part-time job, going to school, doing that, and then having something to look forward to. And then when I began to live life, I was just like, ooh, okay, this is just a repetitive thing, it's a routine, you know. And so I began to feel like I was living in a bubble. And I guess all of that stress that I was putting on myself that I didn't have to, if I knew any better, just like escalated, and it caused me to have an anxiety attack. During that time with the anxiety attack, I was managing a restaurant in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I really didn't enjoy the job. I was having fun, but it wasn't something fulfilling. Like it wasn't something that I was like passionate about. Like this is what I want to do. This is amazing. It wasn't like that. I just kept having anxiety attacks throughout the entire last summer. Like I was just in such a depressed state of mind. There were days where, like today, in New York City, how it's beautiful and the weather is nice and it reminds you of spring, and I just couldn't see it like that. Like I remember looking outside and it was so sunny, and I'm just like, ugh, I feel so depressed and just miserable and desperate for like happiness that I wasn't seeing straight. You know, everything was a blur. Some of the symptoms I was having was detachment from myself. I constantly felt detached from like myself. I felt like I was having an outer body experience a lot of the times. I felt mentally lethargic. I felt just really weird, you know, just like weird. And I guess when you're depressed and you're dealing with an invisible enemy, right, or invisible, what I like to call a hater, you don't really know how to like attack it. But when the anxiety happened, I didn't know why it happened. I started to tell myself, like, am I going crazy? Am I mentally getting a disorder? Like, am I gonna die? Like, is there something in my body that I'm not taking care of that's like just, and that's my body's way of telling me like, hey, listen, dig deep in your body, go see the doctor because there's something that's going on. I was just like bugging out thinking about all those things, and this journey led me to just a whole bunch of things that I didn't know I was dealing with, like not having self-worth, or like having a low self-esteem, and just not thinking the best of myself. I've always gone through that. I just never knew that it can cause anxiety. The way that your subconscious minds work is that it stores everything that you see or feel, right? I guess. I'm not really sure. But the best example that I've heard on the internet is, like, imagine this is your subconscious brain, right? You have your conscious and your subconscious. So let's say if you constantly stress yourself over a job, and the stress is so severe that like you have to either meditate to like relieve it, or you know, it's just constantly in your mind, then a little bit of water is added to this bottle, your subconscious. Then if you have other fears, like the fear of your mom dying, or the fear of, I don't know, you catching an illness, that's another little bit of water that keeps going. So like your subconscious keeps storing this stress over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it finally reaches the top, and then it continues to pile more stress, and then it starts to like just come out, and then until it tilts over, and then all of that comes out, and then you start having anxiety or depression or whatever. So at least for me, that's how my experience was. Now, I don't want to speak in general because there's no universal way of how someone is gets depression or anxiety. You can't get it. It's something that just happens with lifestyle choices, you know, food choices, or the way that you choose to handle or deal with stress. But for me, it was just a buildup of things. This experience, this journey that I've been on, has been such an eye-opener for me, because if I would have never gone through this, honestly, if it wasn't for anxiety, I would have still been in that negative mindset. I would have still think low and negative of myself, and I probably would have not achieved the things that I've achieved personally. Not like out there in the world. I'm talking about personally, like personal achievements, like controlling my thoughts, and not even controlling my thoughts, but just kind of like allowing these negative, fearful thoughts that I created to take over, and not believe, and not give in to the thought, you know, and just learning how to live in the dark. You know, I would have never learned that if it wasn't for anxiety. And so I'm really proud of myself for like maintaining strong and during this, because mental illness and mental health, you know, it's very important. It's not a joke. These days it's better. It's about to be a year since I've been going through this, what I call awakening, right? Spiritual awakening. I'm more spiritually connected to my soul. I'm learning more and more every day on how can I explain it? And how to be more aware of myself, you know, like when I'm being negative, or stop myself when my mind wants to think negative, you know, because it's kind of like a voice in your head. You're like constantly fighting with yourself, like you're worthless. You're like, no, I'm not. I'm good. You know, you just got to trust yourself. And I'm learning every day as the days go on. And it's much better now. You know, I don't feel anxiety anymore, but I've learned that I can be negative, and I'm aware of it. I'm an observer to my own thoughts now. So there's times when I'm at work and my boss is just being not the best, and he'll say a comment and it'll make me feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not good enough, he's gonna fire me. But what if I get fired, then I won't be able to like afford my lifestyle, and I'm gonna have to like do something to. And so like what I've learned to do is to let go of the unexpected and just let uncertainty run my life, you know, and like just continue to walk through the unknown, and whatever happens and deal with it in the moment. So some of the things that I do that helps with my anxiety is I drink a lot of water, and I try to get a lot of sleep as much as I can, because what you put in your body is very important. If you put junk, your body's going to react to that junk that you put. If you put anything that's good, then your body will react to it in a more positive way. And for me, it has helped me a lot. I was a bad eater, in the sense that I ate anything and everything. All because I'm young and I'm skinny. I can eat anything that I want, and not realizing that it can actually take a toll on my mental health. Because if you're not feeding your body nutrients, and if you're not giving it water and what it needs, how are you going to expect for your body to function properly when you're not even feeding it what it needs? You know, this is my car. So if I don't put gas on it, it's not going to run properly. You know, if I don't keep taking it to the shop to get an oil change or whatever, it's going to eventually break down on me. It can continue to drive, but it'll break down several times in that trip, you know. And so you want to keep it going, and you want to keep it refurbishing yourself. Another thing too is that on my social media, I have filtered my feed to only view things about spirituality, quotes that are inspirational, motivational quotes that will motivate me to go harder at whatever it is that I want to do, things like that. You know, before I used to follow a whole bunch of models and a whole bunch of fashion bloggers and a whole bunch of like mega mansion accounts where they show a lot of rich real estates, and it would bring me down only because I wanted that, and because I didn't have the money, and because I live in a different place and I'm not in that like social bracket in the world. It would bring me down, and I'll be working to save, and I will look at those fashion bloggers, and I'm like, well, her outfit is really dope, I want that outfit. And then I will get stressed out because it's like, I don't want to spend money on that, but I really do because I want to look cool. But then I'll be broke and I can't pay a bill. So what I did was that I just started to filter my feed, and I began to just just follow different pages. I follow a lot of pages about spirituality. There's also a page that I follow. She went through her own mental breakdown, nervous breakdown, whatever you want to call it. And she's like a holistic psychologist, but I want to say the right name. That way, whoever wants to follow her, she's really good. Okay, her name is the Holistic Psychologist, and her name is Dr. Nicole LaPera. And she's all about just self-healing and healing in ways that can help you become better in your journey. I think it's important for people to filter their social media. So, number one is eat healthy and drink a lot of water and sleep as much as you can. You know, if you have a crazy schedule, try to go to bed much earlier so that you can get a full 8 hours of sleep. And if you can't, and it's impossible because you have kids or you have other things going on, then do your best to take naps. Naps are amazing. When you sleep, or when you're having like a long day and you take a nap, or even if you're at work. I remember I used to work at a gym, and I used to wake up at 5 a.m. I used to wake up at 2:30 a.m. so I can open up the gym at 5 a.m. and I'll be finished by 2 p.m., right? There were days where I was so drained mentally and physically that I would just tell the front desk coworker, like, hey, listen, I'll be right back. I'm going to go use the bathroom. I would literally go in the bathroom stall. I would sit down on the toilet. I would close my eyes for 5 minutes. I would rest my eyes just for 5 minutes. And the moment I would wake up, just by closing my eyes and just allowing my body to just relax and stay still, I will feel better after those 5 minutes. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. So sleeping and napping, a lot comes from that. And another thing that I do is that I spend a lot of quality time by myself, by choice. I spend a lot of time alone because the beauty in sitting in your room in total quietness and silence, and it's just you listening to the sound of your breathing, is just beauty to me. I'm able to relax my brain, relax my body. I'm able to focus on whatever it is that I'm doing, And so that's another thing that has helped me out with my anxiety. And those are the pointers that I can give you that has been helping me throughout my journey thus far. And they have helped me calm down. I still go through anxiety. I still deal with a lot of that. But it's something that doesn't own me anymore. That doesn't take over my mind. And that doesn't cripple me to like, oh my goodness, I don't want to get up out of bed. Like, it doesn't cripple me anymore. There's days when I'm stuck, like in a mental, I'm mentally stuck, and there's days when I'm just like, oh my goodness, and then I just breathe and I tell myself, relax, everything's good, everything's good. And another thing is having a mindset of abundance. That's another important thing that I have been learning recently, is just to not let things from the world bring you down, because that can elevate your anxiety or whatever you're going through. So if you don't feel like you're going to get that job or that guy that you wanted to talk to, or you don't feel like you're going to overcome this, don't think about it in that way. Think about it in, I didn't get that job, there's 10 more that I'll eventually get. I didn't get that guy, but there's 10 more guys that want to have a conversation with me. I didn't overcome today's struggle, but there's 10 more that I'm going to overcome. You know, so have a mindset of abundance. I'm glad that I'm going through this. It has made me such a better person. I feel a lot more healthier mentally and physically than I was before. Before, I felt constantly tired, constantly just like stressed out, constantly heartbroken over guys, like decisions on how they want to, just stupid things. And I feel more centered, or I'm starting to feel more centered, is what I'm saying, because I still have to overcome certain things, and I will eventually, but I feel a lot more together with myself, and I feel a lot more happy with myself, and I feel like my self-esteem is a lot more positive now. There's still days that I'm not the greatest, but I'm doing better every single day. So please, guys, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely comment and like this video to see more videos like this. Yeah, thank you for watching.